So whenever we talk about supply of money, one thing you have to keep in mind, supply of money is from whose point of view? It is from other parties' point of view, not from public's point of view. Public's point of view, maybe we have studied demand for money. So throughout India, who is involved in supplying the money? There are two people who are involved in supplying the money. One is central bank and second one is commercial bank. Can you tell me what is the Central Bank of India? Called as RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Simple. Reserve Bank of India is nothing but the Central Bank of India. Clear? If demand and supply of money is not managed properly, I repeat, if demand and supply of money is not managed properly, then what will happen? Economy will survive or it will crash? You think economy will be able to survive? No. Economy will completely crash. There will be nothing left in the economy. Clear? You have to be very careful when managing demand and supply. Just like demand and supply of goods, demand and supply of money should also be properly managed. Clear? Now, who manages the supply of money in India? Central Bank, that is RBI, and the commercial banks. Now, you have to be some points you have to be very careful here. Point number one, basic points I'm telling you. Before we start calculating supply of money, let us understand what exactly supply of money. Supply of money, clear, supply of money means what? What do we mean by supply of money? That government is providing money, RBI is providing money, commercial bank is providing money. What do we mean by supply of money? Sir, supply of money means total quantity. I repeat, total quantity of money. I repeat, what do we mean by supply of money? Total quantity of money available to public. Available to public in an economy. In an economy. Clear? I repeat, the total quantity of money, the total quantity of money available to public, clear? Available to public is called what? Is called as supply of money. Correct? Sir, how? What is this total quantity of money? What is this total quantity of money? We'll see later because we have to calculate supply of money, right? Anyhow, we have to calculate supply of money. So what do we mean by total quantity of money? We'll see when we calculate supply of money. Right now, not required. But what do we mean by public? What do we mean by public? What do we mean by public? Public means what? Is it only you and me? Who is public? Public means all economic units. I repeat, public means all economic units. All economic units. Economic units, what will come? Sir, household will come or not? Household, that is you and me. Household. All the families will come. Then what will come? Sir, institutions will come. Institutions will come. Clear? Institutions like whom? Like ICAI is there, ICSI is there, ICMA is there, ACCA is there. These are all institutions, right? These all will come because these people also need money, right? If ICAI wants to conduct exams, it has to pay money to exam centers, right? It's not free of cost. It is collecting money from you and paying it to whom? Exam centers. So much of stationery is required, so much invigilation cost is required. They need money. Clear? They need money. So money supply is not there means what will happen? They will not be able to conduct exams. And then firms. Firms means business. Like whether it is a company, AOP, BOI, artificial judicial person, local authority, anyone. Everyone needs money, right? So can I say everyone needs money? All economic units. I'm not counting non-economic units. All economic units should be taken into consideration while calculating what? Supply of money. Clear? So supply of money means what? Supply of money means total quantity of money available to public in an economy. It includes what? Household, institutions and firms. Clear? This is point number one. Now let us come to point number two. Point number two clearly says, sir, supply of money, clear? Supply of money is what? Is a stock variable. Clear? I repeat, supply of money is what, sir? Supply of money is a stock variable. Clear? But what exactly do we mean by stock variable? What exactly do we mean by stock variable? So stock variable means, clear? Listen very carefully. So stock variable means amount of money. Clear? Total amount of money at a particular point of time. At a particular point of time. Point of time. Now, do you calculate? Let us say, for example, sir, non-economic example. Non-economic means government is there, right? Government is there. Non-economic. Clear? Government is non-economic. So other than government, everyone is included basically there. Clear? All the businesses are included. All the institutions are included. Only government ka money is not included. Why? Government only is the owner of money, right? Clear? Now, so here total amount of money at a particular point of time. Now my question is, do you calculate stock as of a particular date? Stock as on 1st April, stock as on 31st March, stock as on 20th February. Do you calculate or not whenever management requires? Yes, we calculate and report. In the same way, supply of money as on 31st March, supply of money as on 1st April, supply of money as on 5th April. How much it is? How much is the total amount of stock available at a particular date and at a particular time? It's called what? Supply of money. Clear? It is which variable? Stock variable. Clear? As of a particular date, what is the quantity of money in the economy? Clear? Now tell supply of money. Tell me simple question I'll ask you. Supply of money is equal to total stock available or supply of money? Three questions I'll ask. You tell. Supply of money is greater than stock of money. Stock of money. Supply of money is lesser than stock of money. And supply of money is equal to stock of money. Which one is correct? Sir, supply of money means money available to public. Clear? Supply of money means money available to public. Stock of money means total money printed. Total money printed is called what? Stock of money. You think stock of money will be greater than, you think supply of money will be greater than stock of money? Not possible. Not possible. Sir, am I giving you more than what I'm printing? Can I give you something more than what I'm printing in the economy? No, right? Can I give you equal money? No. So always remember, stock of money is always less. Sorry, supply of money is always lesser than the stock of money. It means what? If I have 1,000 billions, I don't give to public 1,000 billions. Less than that only I will give to public. Clear? So this we can write like this: supply of money. Clear? Supply of money is always clear is always smaller than the total stock of money available. Total stock of money available. Correct or not? Clear? Available. Yes. Is this sentence correct? Can you please confirm once? Read and confirm. Okay. Now let us see. Now let us see why to calculate money supply. Like why to determine money supply. What is the reason? Like what benefit will I get? Why to calculate Why to calculate money supply? Simple question. Why should I calculate money supply? If I calculate money supply, what benefit I will get? What benefit I will get? Clear? You can't say, sir, if I calculate the money supply minus the money available to public, difference will be black money. No, that all things are not there. What is the basic reason for calculating the measuring the money supply? Why to measure the money supply? I'll tell you the reasons. Reason number A. Reason number A. It facilitates clear it facilitates analysis of monetary developments. Clear? Monetary developments in order to clear in order to determine in order to determine economic growth. In order to determine economic growth. Now tell, monetary policy is there in our syllabus or not? Monetary policy is there in our syllabus or not? Previously, other faculty has already covered it, right? Monetary supply. At that point of time, monetary policy में do we why is monetary policy there? Once the government implements a monetary policy, does it need to check or not whether the policy was successful or not? If it is not successful, why it was not successful? If it is successful, then next time also can we use the same policy or not? So many things we have to decide. So when I calculate the money supply, when I measure the money supply in the market, what will happen? It will help me in understanding whether my monetary development, that is nothing but monetary policy, was successful or not. And in case if my monetary policy is successful or unsuccessful, will it determine my economic growth? Yes. If monetary policy is successful, economic growth will increase. If monetary policy is not successful, either economic growth will be same or it will decrease. It will not increase. So this is one reason, right? Another reason what we can say, stabilize price level. Stabilize price level. Clear? Stabilize price level by controlling the money supply. By controlling the money supply. Now tell, money supply is very less. There is very less money supply in the market. There is very less supply in the money market. Clear? Market में money supply in the economy, money supply is very less. Now what will happen? Inflation will happen or deflation? When money supply is less, people won't be able to buy anything, right? When people are not buying, what will happen? Inflation will happen or deflation will happen? Deflation. When people are not buying, why will prices will increase? Money supply is not there, people are not having money, people don't want to spend. When people don't want to spend, what will happen? Inflation will come down. Clear? Sir, inflation is decreasing. What do we mean by that? Inflation is decreasing. What do we mean by that? You think decreasing inflation and deflation same or different? Inflation is decreasing. Does it mean that it is deflation? No. Decreasing inflation and deflation are both different. Let us say, for example, government has set a base price. Base price is equals to rupees 100 for a particular product. Clear? Base price of a product is 100 rupees. Now tell, product reaches 120 rupees. Clear? Product ka price reaches 120 rupees. Tell me, inflation or deflation? Is this inflation or deflation? Inflation, right? Inflation. This is called increasing inflation. II. After 1 month, price came to 118 rupees. This is deflation or decreasing inflation? This is decreasing inflation. DI. Decreasing inflation. Again it reaches to 102. Again this is called decreasing inflation. Once it reduces below 100, let us say it becomes 99. This is called deflation. So can I say movement, upward and downward movement? I repeat, upward and downward movements above the price level. I repeat, upward and downward movement in prices above a price level, above a base level is called what? Increasing inflation, decreasing inflation. When the price falls below the average price level or the base price level, that is called what? Deflation, right? I hope you understood what is the difference between decreasing inflation and deflation. Clear? These are the basic concepts in economics. Clear? Now, let us continue. Now, I told stabilize the price level. So, what happens when suddenly money supply is less? People are unable to buy. Either inflation will come down or it can go to deflation also. Anything may happen. We don't know, right? We don't know. At that point of time, what will government do? Government will increase the money supply or decrease the money supply? Government will increase the money supply or decrease? Increase the money supply. Sir, now let us say lot of money is there in the market, lot of money supply is there. Sir, lot of money supply is there, prices will increase or decrease? Sir, prices will decrease. When prices decreases, again problem, prices are decreasing very highly prices are decreasing. Due to that also what will happen? Due to that also economy will get affected. Again, in that case, what will government do? Government will decrease the supply. So when government is increasing or decreasing the money supply depending upon the situation of the economy, it is controlling the supply, right? That is called what? That is called as stabilizing the price level. Clear? So these are the two main reasons why, what is required? Money supply ka determination is required. Clear? As I already told you, now tell me how many sources of money supply are there? Sources of money supply. How many sources of money supply are there? How many people affect the supply of money? Sources of money supply. Two sources. What are those? One is central bank and the second one is commercial bank. Central bank and second one is commercial bank. Clear? One is central bank, second one is commercial bank, right? Commercial bank. Now, so now central bank prints money or not? Central bank prints money or not? RBI prints money or not? Yes or no? Yes. So the money issued by central bank is called high powered money. Which money? High powered money. High powered money. It is also called as fiat money. Remember, we studied last time fiat money. Clear? Money issued or printed by central bank is called what? High powered money or fiat money. This money demand may only we have seen this concept. And when we talk about commercial banks ka money is called as credit money. Credit money. Clear? Credit money. Why? Because commercial banks generate money. Commercial banks generate money. Clear? In the process of Clear? In the process of what? In the process of Clear? In the process of how this commercial banks generate money? The process of what? When economy is in inflation, people want to increase their income. When inflation is there means prices are high or less. Expenses will increase. Let us say business ka expenses will increase or not. Business ka expenses will increase or not. At the time of inflation, you think your salaries will increase? At the time of inflation, you think your salaries will increase? No, you lose your jobs, right? When expenses are very high, businesses are unable to bear the expenses. Leave about you getting the leave about your increasing salary. They may not be able to pay salary also. That time, what will happen? Katam, your job will go. During high inflation, jobs will lose. Don't think that I will increase my income. How will I increase my income? See, like you want to increase your income because your expenses are increasing. In the same way, business also wants to increase their income, right? They can increase their income only by decreasing the expenses. How will they decrease the expenses? Salaries. They will lose your jobs. Khatam. Inflation and deflation mein jobs will reduce. Clear? I hope you understood, Chaitanya. Yes. So generate money in the process of lending. Simple. Lending money, right? Lending money. That is why it is called as what? Credit money. Clear? That is why it is called as credit money. I hope you understood the basics of money supply. What is money supply and why money supply is important? Who supplies money and how they supply money? This is clear. Anyone has any doubts to ask? No. Remember one thing, you think central bank will print the money whenever it wants? Simple question. Will central bank print money whenever it wants? No. Earlier what used to happen is equal clear equal value. Earlier what used to happen? Equal value of gold had to be kept to print money. To print what? To print money. Now let us say government wants to print 100 crore rupees. Government had to bring 100 crore rupees of gold worth from somewhere to RBI. Keep 100 crores worth of gold in RBI, then print money. Correct or not? Equal value of gold means government wants to print 10 crore rupees. So how much worth of gold government, like RBI wants to print 10 crores? How much worth of gold RBI should keep in RBI office? 10 crores. If it wants to print 200 crores, 200 crores worth of gold it has to keep. Earlier, this policy used to be followed. Now, think, is it practically possible to wait for me to collect equal amount of gold, keep and then print money? Till that point of time, money supply will be affected or not? From where will I get 200 crores worth of gold? So what happens? It may take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or it may take 1 year also to get that much gold. At that point of time, what used to happen? From whom that gold should, for whom that gold we should give, sir? For whom? I didn't. Why will RBI give that gold? RBI will keep the gold with itself. RBI will keep the gold with itself. Why will it give to someone else as a security? As a security. See, government. You think government will have government? Oh, printing will be free, or government will spend some money on printing? Government has to spend some money on printing, right? Government has to spend some money on printing. For spending 10 rupees note, 15 rupees government is spending. For 1 rupee coin, it is spending 3 rupees. Losses or not? So as a safety measure, tomorrow if suddenly money is required, and if it is not there, what will RBI do? From where it will borrow? So as a safety, what was the rule? That if equal amount of gold RBI is bringing and keeping in its office, like let us say RBI ke lockers mein you are keeping some gold, then what will happen? Late after 2 3 years, if there is an issue that government is not having money, RBI is not having money, can RBI give this gold as a security to World Bank and take money from them as a loan? So that was as a security. But now tell me, is it practically possible to bring so much of gold immediately when money is required and keep in RBI office? Can government bring so much gold and give it to RBI for printing money? No, right? No, government can only request. Later on, what was done? Rule was changed. Now, minimum, minimum amount of gold, amount of gold, minimum amount of gold should be kept. Gold should be kept with RBI, to print money. To print what? To print money. Clear? Now, what is this minimum amount? What is this minimum amount? That will be decided by RBI based on situation to situation. It can be 20%, sometimes it can be 30%, sometimes it can be 50%, sometimes it can only be 5%. It all depends upon how much resources RBI already is having. Now, let us say, for example, like RBI wants to print 10,000 crores of rupees, 10,000 crore rupees it wants to print. If it already has 90, let us say if it is already having 9,800 crores worth of gold in its office, will it again ask you to bring 9,800 crores? No. How much is the difference? 200 crores. That 200 crores worth of deposit we will keep with RBI, and RBI will start printing the money. So this minimum amount right now no one can say. It is not a fixed percentage. It all depends upon situation to situation, depending upon the RBI's requirements. Earlier, if I had to print 10 crore rupees notes, 10 crore rupees gold, I had to deposit with RBI. Now, there is no such requirement. Minimum. And what is this minimum amount? Sir, RBI will decide at the time of printing the money how much resources are required. It can be 5%, 1%, 2%. It all depends on situation to situation. Clear? So, you think government prints money? No, RBI prints money. You think government is the owner of money? No. If government wants money, you think it can go to RBI, take money and come? No. RBI is a completely different institution. Government is a completely different institution. Government has no control over money demand and money supply. I repeat, government has no control over money demand and money supply. Who controls the money demand and supply? RBI. How RBI can directly control, or with the help of banking system. Now let us say CRR, SLR. Bank should keep separately or not? I think in monetary policy you might have studied, right? Bank rate is there, repo rate is there, reverse repo rate is there, SLR is there, CRR is there, liquidity ratios are there. All these things. Now let us say these ratios increase. these ratios increase, then what will happen? What will happen? No, government cannot print anything on its own. Everything is RBI only. Government cannot do anything on its own. RBI, and moreover, RBI will not print. RBI will get it printed. Majority of our money gets printed outside India. Australia mein. Australia is there. Switzerland is there. In other countries, our money is printed. India mein, we only coins I think is printed. Majority of the notes, like 2000 notes are there, 500 notes are there. They are printed outside India, not in India. Clear? No. Now question comes, how to measure money supply? 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 How to calculate money supply? Simple. How to measure money supply? So to measure money supply, clear, to measure money supply, there used to be narrow measurement and broad measurement. Clear? Narrow measurement, broad measurement. How many measurements were there? Narrow measurement of money, narrow measurement of money, and broad measurement of money. Broader measurement of money. Clear? Narrow measurement of money and broader measurement of money. Clear? Narrow measurement, broad measurement. Sir, narrow measurement was applicable up to, clear, narrow measurement was applicable up to 1967-68 financial year. Clear? I repeat, narrow measurement of money was there up till 1967 and 1968 financial year only, where only, where only what happened, where only what used to happen, M1 was considered for determining what? Money supply. M1 was considered as money supply. Clear? M1 was considered as money supply. But what was M1, sir? What was M1? Only M1, I told you that only M1 was considered as money supply. Sir, M1 means, sir, M1 means, clear? M1 means deposits, currency and demand deposits. Demand deposits of public. In simple words, if I say it is CASA, CASA. Students from this class who are attending Konsa apna EIS, can you tell me full form of CASA? Anyone attending EIS also from here? I think Kirti madam, you are attending. Current account, savings account. Clear? CASA means current account, savings account. Now tell, throughout the world, throughout the country, you think only current account and savings account is there as a measurement of money, or there are other types of money also available? Sir, fixed deposit is there. Then so many deposits are there, right? But up to 1967-68, only what was considered, taken into consideration? Only M1 was taken into consideration. M1 means CASA, current account, savings account. Now tell, will this be a correct measurement of money? Was this a correct measurement of money? No, this was not the correct measurement of money. Later on, what happened? Later on, what happened was, from April 1977, clear? From April 1977, clear? From April 1977, what happened was, clear? No, not 1977, sorry, this is later. What happened here? From 1967-68, am I using narrow measurement of money or broader measurement of money? Broader measurement of money is used. Sir, I'm taking only CASA into consideration. Narrow. I'm taking something other than CASA also. That is called what? That is called as broader money. Clear? Broader money, what happened? Broader money, what happened? Clear? Later on, from 1977. Clear? From 1977, what happened? Second working group. Second working group ग्रुप का recommendations was followed. Recommendations was followed. Clear? From 1977 what happened? Second working group ka recommendations was followed, wherein what I done? I have taken four measurements of money. I have taken four concepts of money. Clear? M1, M2, M3, M4. These are the four things I take into consideration. Earlier, what used to happen up to 1967-68, only narrow money was taken into consideration. From 67 to 68, what started? Which started broader. Broader में what happened? Aggregate. Broader में what happened? Aggregate monetary resources. Aggregate monetary resources was also taken into consideration. Aggregate monetary resources means something other than, we don't even know what comes under aggregate monetary resources. It's just government used to publish, okay, in addition to CASA we also have this much, we also have this much, we also have this much. There was no regularity, there was no formula, there was nothing there. It was like general, there is nothing specific. But since government thought if we keep publishing like this only, after 10 years it thought, okay, later on it thought, okay, aggregate monetary resources say we are not getting a clear idea, CASA say we are not getting a clear idea, some additional information also we are giving, still we are not getting an idea. Better what we do, we scrap the old system and they implemented what? Second working committee. Second working committee के हिसाब से in 1977 से what they started doing, they started taking only M1 or four aggregates. They started taking four aggregates into consideration: M1, M2, M3, M4. Clear? Exam में they will ask you to calculate monetary aggregates. What will you calculate? M1, M2, M3, M4. खत्म. Now let us understand this monetary aggregates. What are there? Sir, M1 में what is included? M1 में currency notes. Clear? Currency notes and coins. Clear? Currency notes and coins with people. Clear? Currency notes and coins with people. Next, demand deposits of bank. Demand deposits of bank. Clear? Second one. And third one was other deposits with RBI. Other deposits with RBI. When I add these three things, it used to give me what? It will give me M1. Clear? It will give me the total value of what? M1. It will give me the total value of M1, right? This will be the total of M1. Clear? Now, currency notes and coins with people means I'm having 10 coins. I'm having 2 rupees notes. Sir, what all coins and notes you are having, what all coins and notes I'm having, will it come in 1, 2 or 3? Public के पास whatever cash is there, like notes, coins, whatever you're having right now. I'm not talking about your money with bank. Your money with bank will come in point number 2. I repeat, I'm talking cash in hand. First point में I'm talking cash in hand. Cash in hand of public. Cash in hand with public. How much coins you're having, how much notes you're having, that goes under what? M1. Now, can you deposit your money with bank? Can you deposit your money with bank? Simple. Can you deposit? Yes. Your public's money with bank is considered as what? Demand deposits. Demand deposits means, can I withdraw as per bank's rules or can I withdraw whenever I want? I can withdraw whenever I want. Example, current account, savings account, CASA. Now see, earlier M1 में only demand deposits was taken. Currency with you was taken into consideration or not? Currency with you was taken into consideration or not? Now tell, earlier system was correct or wrong? Absolutely it was wrong, right? You are taking only bank. Majority of the people will have cash only. Clear? So currency notes will be considered under what? M1. Your deposits with bank like current account and savings account will be considered under what? Will be considered under demand deposits. And then we have other deposits of RBI. Other deposits with RBI. Sir, what do we mean by other deposits with RBI? What do we mean by other deposits with RBI? Sir, other deposits with RBI means I can write something like this. First one, demand deposits, demand deposits of, demand deposits of a quasi government institutions, quasi government institutions, quasi government institutions. Like quasi government institutions are depositing money with whom? RBI. Clear? Next, other financial institutions, other financial institutions. Here other financial institutions. Now let us say, for example, quasi government institution means, is it completely public? No. Is it completely private? No. It is half public, half private. Example, your ICAI. ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, is it set up under an act of a parliament? Yes. But is it completely government organization? No. Is it managed by private people? Yes. But is it completely private? No. So it is half public, half private. Clear? Something which is neither public nor private, it's a combination of both, is called what? Quasi government institutions. So whatever current account, savings account, quasi government institutions are having with RBI or other financial institutions means, LIC is there, GIC is there. Clear? And then we have LIC, GIC, non NBFCs are there, and Muthoot Finance. I hope you know that. Manappuram Gold Finance. These are called other financial institutions. All these people will deposit money with bank or not under current accounts or savings account. That is considered as other deposits with RBI. Next, balances. Clear? Balances in the balances in the accounts of. This is very important for theory question, and when we are calculating what, monetary aggregates. Foreign central bank, FCB. Can a central bank, let us say for example Federal Bank of US, just like RBI is for India, Federal Bank is for US. Federal Bank of US is opening an account with RBI in India. Their amount is also taken into consideration. Next, foreign government. Can foreign government open a bank account in India with RBI? Yes. Clear? So quasi government का money with RBI, other financial institutions का money with RBI, foreign central banks का money with RBI, foreign governments money with RBI. Next, accounts of international agencies, accounts of international agencies. Clear? Accounts of international agencies. Examples of international agencies, sir, IMF. Have you heard about IMF? International Monetary Fund. International Monetary Fund. All these things will come in monetary policy. Next, and then we have what? World Bank. Clear? World Bank. So point number one, tell me, you're having cash with you. Will it come in first, second, or third one? Your cash with you, cash in hand, will come in what? Point number one. Clear? Your CASA account, public's CASA account with bank will come under what? Will come under two. Sir, quasi government, clear, quasi government institutions, financial institutions, foreign banks, foreign government, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank. These people's bank account with RBI, that will come under what? Point number three. Clear? That is comes under point number three. Remember one thing, M1, M2, M3, M4, they are like the most liquid to least liquid. Sir, M1 is the most liquid. M1 is the most liquid. M1 is what? Sir, M1 is most liquid. Most liquid. M4 is least liquid. Clear? I repeat, M4 is what? Least liquid. Clear? So this M1, M2, M3, M4 they have given from most liquid to least liquid point of view. Sir, your cash with you is liquid or not? Obviously it's liquid. Your money with bank account is also liquid. Simple. That is why it is the most liquid asset. Most liquid money is what? M1. The least liquid money is what? M2. Now tell me, little bit less liquid from M1, M2, little bit less liquid from M2, M3, the least liquid from all the above things, M4. Correct or not? Clear? I hope you understood how to calculate M1. Clear? Simple. Now let us see calculation of M2. All these things please study tomorrow and come. All these things see tomorrow and come. Clear? Because tomorrow when we solve problems, I can't explain you, right? You have to be very careful here. Next we have M2. Clear? Then we have M2. So M2 means total of M1. First, whatever amount I got here, whatever total I got in M1, that in addition to this, what all should I take? Savings deposits, savings deposit, savings deposit with post office savings bank, post office savings bank, savings bank, post office savings bank, post office savings bank, post office savings bank. Can you open a bank account? Can you open a savings bank account with post office? Can you open a savings account with post office? Yes, sir. Yes, you can open. I hope you know that. Section 10 section 10 exemptions will be there. See, in that it will be written, right? The savings bank deposit of this one is exempted up to which amount? Savings bank deposit 10,000, right? That is only savings bank interest is exempted up to 10,000. So, total of M1 plus savings bank deposit with post office account. Clear? Any doubts as of now? Next, then comes M3, right? Then comes M3. M3 means what? How to start M3? So total of M2. Total of M2. Clear? Total of M2. Then what to do? What do I do? M2 ko what should I add? Net time deposits with banking system. Net time deposits with banking system. With banking system. Sir, what do we mean by net time deposits? So do you know what is time deposit? Time deposit is nothing but term deposit or fixed deposit. Simple. Term deposit or fixed deposit. This is also called as term deposit or fixed deposit. Net means total. Net means total time deposit with banking system. Net means what? Total. In total, everything. Your, mine, everyone's fixed deposit. Now tell me, fixed deposit is liquid or non-liquid? Is it very liquid or least liquid? Is it as liquid as your cash? Is it as liquid as your cash? No. Is it as liquid as your money with RBI or money with bank? No. Is it as liquid as savings bank or current account, savings account? No. It will take time to get converted into cash. That is why it comes under M3. Clear? Now, then what we have to do finally, we have to calculate M4, right? M4. M4. Sir, how to start M4? Total of M3, right? Total of M3. Clear? Total of M3. Total of M3. To this, what I should add? Total deposits. Total deposits with post office. Total deposit with post office savings account. Savings account. Post office savings bank. Clear? Except NSC and CASA. Right? Except NSC and CASA. Now, sir, see here, point 2 में did I take savings deposit with post office savings bank? Savings deposit will I take with other than savings deposit also, other deposits will be there or not? Other than savings deposit, will it be there or not? So all other things except current account and savings account. Why? Sir, current account and savings account with post office will already included where? M2, correct? Current account and savings account with post office already included in M2. So when I'm taking total deposits with post office, will I include or exclude? Will I include or exclude? I will exclude. Why? I've already taken, right? I've already taken. I repeat. So let us say total deposits is 10 lakhs. This 10 lakhs includes national savings certificate. Now tell, national savings certificate with post office. For a minimum period of time, I have to keep invested, right? For a minimum period of time, should I keep invested or not to claim exemption? Yes. So national savings certificate 2 lakhs. Current account is 1 lakh and savings account is 1 lakh. Now tell, this current account, savings account 2 lakhs is already included in M2, correct or not? Is it already included in M2? Yes. So if I include again, will it be double counting? Will it be double counting? So what I'll do, 10 lakhs minus 1 lakh current account minus 1 lakh savings account minus national savings account should also not be taken into consideration. Then how much should I take? 6 lakhs. Correct or not? So national savings certificate and whatever you have already included in M2 should not be taken into consideration. Then what will I get, sir? Then I will get something called M4, right? This is called total of M4. These are called M1, M2, M3, M4. These are called monetary aggregates, right? These are called which aggregates? Monetary aggregates. So if they ask you to calculate monetary aggregates, what will you calculate? M1, M2, M3, M4. See, if they ask you to calculate only M1, you calculate. If they ask you to calculate only M2, you calculate. But if they ask you to calculate monetary aggregates, then what will you calculate? You will calculate everything, M1 also, M2 also, M3 also, M4 also. Clear? But now also what happened? But what happened is in 1998. But what happened in 1998? Government thought let us include some more things also. You think everything is also included here, or some things are still missing? There are other things also which might be missing here. So in 1998, government thought that let us introduce new monetary aggregates. New monetary aggregates. New monetary aggregates. Clear? So that 1998 में what was introduced by RBI? New monetary aggregates means from 1977 till 1997, for this 20 years, what was used? Old monetary aggregates were used, right? Now in 1998, government introduced what? Government introduced what? New monetary aggregates. Clear? New monetary aggregates. New monetary aggregates. Mein first thing was reserve money. First thing was what? Reserve money. Clear? Reserve money. Reserve money means what, sir? Currency in circulation. Reserve money means what? Currency in circulation. Currency in circulation. Currency in circulation. Clear? Currency in circulation. I hope everyone knows currency in circulation means what? Money available with public, right? Your cash, your notes, that is money. Currency in circulation is nothing but this one. Currency notes with public, right? Currency in coins and notes with public. So currency in circulation, to this what will I add? Bankers deposit. Bankers deposit with RBI. With RBI. Will bank deposit some part of their money with RBI or not? CRR, cash reserve ratio. Will they deposit with bank or not? Yes, RBI, bank will give some money to RBI or not? That is point number 2. And then we have other deposits with RBI. Other deposits with RBI. This much money should be there in reserves. Simple. This much money should be there minimum in reserves. What should be the minimum reserve money? Currency in circulation plus whatever bank is giving to RBI plus other people giving to RBI. This much money should be kept in reserve. Why? Because suddenly some requirement is there. How will I get money, right? Some money should be kept in reserve for future purpose. Clear? This is called reserve money. So now let us see monetary aggregates, what they are telling. Monetary aggregates say NM1. M1 means monetary aggregate 1. NM1 means new monetary aggregate 1. Correct or not? M1 means monetary aggregate 1. NM1 means new monetary aggregate 1. How to calculate? How to calculate NM1? Net RBI credit. RBI credit to government. Now tell, is RBI, now when RBI is printing money, you think it is RBI's money or government's money? No. It is public. It is for public purpose, right? It is for public purpose. That is why now RBI is giving money to government. Why? Because government will give it to public. RBI is printing the money and giving it to government. Correct or not? RBI will print money and give it to government. Now, till government gives the complete money to public, is it like a liability to government or not? Is it like a liability to government or not? Yes, that is why I am saying credit to government means I am giving a liability, I am transferring my liability to government. Till the government distributes the complete money in market, it is what? It is a liability to government. Then it says RBI credit, RBI credit, RBI credit to commercial sector. Commercial sector. Can RBI give loan to banks? Can RBI give loans to banks? Yes, it can give, right? Yes, it can give. Yes, there is no other option. Next, RBI's claim on bank. RBI claim on bank. What can RBI claim from banks? Excess reserves, can it claim or not? Excess money what bank has, can RBI claim or not? Yes, RBI has every right to claim. That also will come here. Next, RBI's net foreign assets. Net foreign assets. Here RBI is net foreign assets. Let us say for example RBI has to receive 10 crore rupees from World Bank. RBI has to receive 10 crores from World Bank. RBI has to pay 8 crores to World Bank. Now tell, RBI has to receive 10 crores, RBI has to pay 8 crores. Net is receivable or payable? Net is receivable or payable? Net 2 crores is receivable or payable? Receivable. That receivable is what? Asset or liability? Asset only, right? And that a foreign asset. Clear? Next. Then we have government's currency liability to public. Government currency liability to public. This I already explained you. Clear? I told this credit includes two things. One is loan given by RBI to government, and second one is amount given by RBI to government to distribute it to public. These two things are included. Then we have RBI's net non-monetary liabilities. RBI's net non-monetary liability. This also I already told you. RBI's net foreign assets. Reverse it. Receivable, payable is more and receivable is less. It will become what? Liability. Clear? Next, this all total will give me what? This all total will give me M1. Clear? NM1. Now, how to calculate NM2? How to calculate NM2? Total of NM1. Total of NM1. To this, what should I add? Currency with public. Currency with public. Now tell, sir, currency in circulation is nothing but currency with public, correct or not? Now tell, currency in circulation will always be equal to currency in public or not? You think total currency available in the market, you think will be available with public only? No. Remember I told you, remember here. Currency in circulation means what? Currency in circulation means this one. Stock of money. Currency in circulation means stock of money. You think stock of money will always be equal to supply of money? No. It will never be equal. Clear? Next. So what I'll take here? Currency with public. Then same demand deposits. Demand deposits with bank. With bank. And then what happens to other deposits with RBI? Other deposits with RBI. So can I say this is only the new one added? Can I say this is the only new one added, right? NM1. NM1 is the new thing added, right? Here old monetary aggregates ka M1, old monetary aggregates M1, it equal to new monetary aggregate 2, correct or not? Same thing I'm writing. Only this was the only thing additional which was introduced. Rest this was same only, right? NM2. Next let us calculate NM3. Next let us calculate NM3. Clear? NM3. Next. How to calculate NM3? Oh, wait. Sorry. This is included in reserve money. Sorry. This is the reserve money for bifurcation. This is reserve money bifurcation. This is NM1. Here this is NM1. Sorry, my mistake. NM1. Clear? So reserve money was the new thing added. NM1 and M1 are same. Clear? Whatever I've explained this one, it is relating to what? It is relating to reserve money. So if they ask you to calculate reserve money, you calculate like this. This is reserve money. Clear? Reserve money ka calculation. Sorry, my mistake. NM1 and M1 are same. Next NM2. Clear? NM2. How to calculate NM2? So total of NM1. Total of NM1. To this what should I add? Time deposits. Clear? Time deposits of residence. Time deposits of residence. Time deposit of residence. Now, in NM, I repeat, in M2, in NM2, did I take time deposits of residence or only time deposits I've written there? Only time deposits. It means in monetary aggregates, everyone's money was taken into consideration. Your money, foreigners' money, everyone's money. But in NM2, I'm taking foreigners' money or only Indian money? Only Indian money. Why? You think foreigners, those who are depositing in India, you think they will give money back to India? No. Can you use dollars in India? No, right? NM3. Sir, how to calculate NM3? How to calculate NM3? This is short. Remember, this is short. This is short term time deposit, you can say. This is short term. Sir, short term means more than 1 year or less than or equal to 1 year? Short term means less than or more than 1 year. Short term. Fast. Short term means less than 1 year or less than or equal to 1 year. यहाँ पर what will happen? Total of NM2. Total of NM2. To this what will I add? Long term time deposits of residence. Here long term time deposits of residence. And I will also add term funding. Term funding from financial institutions. Together this will give me what? Sir, together this will give me M3, right? M3 ka total. NM3 ka total. For today, this much formula should be enough. For today, this much formula should be enough. If I give you more formulas today, you will forget everything. One or two formulas, small formulas are remain, which we'll see tomorrow. But before that, but before that, but before that. Now I'll ask some questions. You tell whether you are able to understand or not. Let us see. Now tell. Narrow money mein only what was included? In narrow money, only one thing was included. What was that? In narrow money, only one thing was included. What was that? Only CASA. But in broader money, how many aggregates are there in broader money? How many aggregates are there in broader money? 4, right? Then 4 are called monetary aggregates or new monetary aggregates. There are monetary aggregates. Now tell, sir, whatever currency and coins you are having, where will you take? Whatever currency and coins you are having, where will you take? M1, M2, M3, M4. Where? M1. Your current account and savings account with bank, where will you take? Your current account and savings account in bank, where will you take? M1. And all the people who are depositing money with RBI, maybe Indian people, foreigner people, everything money deposited with RBI, where will you take? M1. M1 to M4, M1 is most liquid or least liquid? M1 is most liquid or least liquid? Most liquid. M4 is least liquid. Clear, liquid means easily convertible to cash. Now tell. M2 may, what is the additional thing? Savings deposit with post office, where will you take? Savings deposit with post office, where will you take? M2. Now tell. Your fixed deposit, where will you take? Fixed deposits. Whether it is short term, whether it is long term. I repeat, whether short term, long term, foreigner, Indian, everything you'll take in M3. Now tell. Now, total deposits with post office bank, where will you take? Total deposit with post office bank. M4. In M4, when you are taking total deposits, four things are not included. Sorry, three things are not included. One is current account, which you have already taken in M2. Savings account already taken in M2, and national savings certificate government is asking us not to take. Clear? Next. Then what happened? Since government felt that this was little bit old method, they introduced a new method called what? New monetary aggregates. Reserve money is a completely different concept. Reserve money is a completely different concept. Now, if they ask you to calculate new monetary aggregates, will you calculate reserve money or NM1? You have to calculate NM1. NM1 is nothing but, I repeat, NM1 is nothing but what? NM1 is nothing but your M1. NM1 and M1 both are same. There is nothing difference. There is no difference between NM1 and M1. Now, NM2 may will you take? NM2 may will you take all time deposits or only from residence? All persons time deposits or only from residence? Only from residence. That to short term or long term? That is short term or long term? That is short term. But long term, where will you take? If it is long term, where will you take? NM3. If it is long term, then you'll take NM3. Then call money, where will you take? Term funding from financial institutions like financial institutions means LIC, GIC, whatever deposits are there, where will you take? NM3. Clear? I hope it is clear. Now tell me, old monetary aggregates were how many? Old monetary aggregates were how many? 4. New monetary aggregates are how many? 3. Clear? Is reserve money a part of new monetary aggregates? Yes, but it is not taken into consideration for calculating of NM1, NM2 and NM3. Clear? So tomorrow what you can do, just go through this and come, so that tomorrow one more small formula is there, we'll finish and then we'll start with problems. Clear? Tomorrow we'll close this chapter. Bye everyone. So yesterday we started with money supply, small chapter. Let us complete today. So let me ask some questions. Once we are done, we'll start with the main chapter. Point number 1. Tell me, money supply is from whose point of view? From our point of view or from RBI and government point of view? From our point of view? Yes or no? Is it from customers or consumers point of view? No, it is not from consumers point of view. No. Whenever we talk about supply of money, tell me who supplies money basically in India? Money supply is done by whom in India? Who does money supply in India? RBI and commercial banks, right? RBI and commercial banks. Next, supply of money means what? It says total quantity of money available to public. How to calculate total quantity of money? We have seen yesterday. Monetary aggregates, new monetary aggregates, reserve money. Now tell. Public means what? Public includes everyone. Household are included, institutions are included, firms are also included. Now, now tell me, stock of money is always greater than stock. Tell me, supply of money is always equal to or greater than stock of money. True or false? Supply of money is always equal to or greater than stock of money. False. Stock of money is always greater than supply of money. Stock of money is always greater than supply of money. Stock of money is always greater than supply of money. True. Next. Now tell me, the money printed or supplied by RBI is called what? The money printed or supplied by RBI is called what? The money printed or supplied by RBI is called what? Fiat money. Clear? Fiat money, which is also called as what? High powered money. And the money which is supplied by bank is called what? Which money? Credit money, right? Now, initially, tell me, starting में, up to 1967-68, only one thing was used to calculate money supply. What was that? Is it M1, M2, M3, M4? What was it? M1. That was called as narrow money. Later on, what happened? Monetary aggregates came. M1, M2, M3, M4. They are called what? Broader money. Now tell me, currency notes, currency notes and coins with you will come under which one? Currency notes and coins with you will come where? M1. Savings deposit with post office. M2. And you can say time deposits, or you can say fixed deposits. Where will it come? M3. And all other deposits of savings bank other than NSC and CASA accounts will come where? M3. After that, later on what happened? Monetary aggregates were considered to be outdated, and then what was launched? NM. NM means what? Monetary aggregate or new monetary aggregate? New monetary aggregate. Now the latest one what we have, as of today, we are not using monetary aggregates. We are also not using new monetary aggregates. We are using something called liquidity aggregates. Clear? What is the latest way to calculate the money? Liquidity aggregates. Liquidity aggregates. The latest thing in market as of now, how we calculate? We don't calculate using reserve money. We don't calculate using new monetary aggregates. We also don't calculate using monetary aggregates. We calculate using what? Sir, we calculate using liquidity aggregates. Sir, how to calculate liquidity aggregates? Say there are three liquidity aggregates, right? Basically, there are three liquidity aggregates. L1, L2, L3. Clear? How to calculate L1? Sir, L1 is nothing but NM3. NM3 means answer of last one, right? I hope how to calculate NM3 you know. Plus all deposits with post office savings bank. Post office savings bank. Savings bank excluding NSC. Clear? So when we calculated NM1, we did not include post office of bank. NM2 we did not include post office. NM3 also we did not include post office. Where are we including post office? L1. Then L2. How to calculate L2? L1 plus term deposits with, clear? Term deposits. Term deposit is nothing but fixed deposits. Term deposits with, clear? Term deposits with lending institutions. Lending institutions. Lending institutions means Manapuram Finance is there, Kapil Chit Fund is there, Muthoot Finance is there. These are called what? Lending institutions. I can take loan from these people also, right? Plus refinancing institutions. Plus refinancing institutions. Refinancing institutions. Sir, what do we mean by refinancing institutions? Can you buy a second-hand vehicle on loan? Can you buy a second-hand vehicle or car on loan? Yes, sir. So the people who are providing me loan to buy second-hand vehicle are called what? Refinancing. They are not financing. They are refinancing the second-hand things. Plus term borrowing. Clear? Term borrowings by financial institutions. Term borrowings with financial institutions. Now, sir, bank has to now let us say, for example, Muthoot Finance. Let us say, have you heard about Manappuram Gold Loan? Have you heard about Manappuram Gold Loan? Did you hear? Yes. Now you go there, deposit your gold, they will give you loan. Correct or not? You deposit your gold, they will give you money. You deposit 10 lakhs rupees ka gold, they will give you 10 lakhs. But now tell me, sir, from where are they getting that much cash? You are giving your gold and they are giving you cash. From where are they getting cash? They have their own money or they will take a loan? Sir, they will borrow money from someone, give it to you. They are borrowing at 2%, they will give you at 5%. So 3% is income to them or not? That also we need to take into consideration. Plus certificate of deposits. Now, can I deposit money with a public company? Can I deposit money with a public company? Can public company accept deposits? Simple question. Can public company accept deposits? Yes. So that also, that certificate of deposits also I need to take into consideration. Then how to calculate L3, L2 plus public deposits, public deposits with whom? Public deposits with NBFCs. NBFC means non-banking finance corporations. Clear? NBFCs. So all these things put together will give me what? So all these things put together will give me what? Liquidity aggregates. Now my question is, if they ask you to calculate liquidity aggregates, can you calculate liquidity aggregates without calculating NM1, NM2, NM3? No, why? Because the basis of starting the liquidity, I repeat, the basis for starting the liquidity aggregates is NM3. If I don't calculate NM3, I won't be able to calculate L1. Sir, how to calculate NM3? Calculate NM2. How to calculate NM2? Calculate NM1. So if I don't calculate NM1, I cannot calculate liquidity aggregates. Correct or not? So these formulas, what you have to do is daily revise once, daily slowly revise, so that by the end of your syllabus completion, you should remember all these things. Clear? So when I am solving the problems, I'll show you the formula again so that you can check and tell me the answers. Now, now money, clear? Then we have money multiplier. Money multiplier. Money multiplier is a small theory for us. There is nothing much to learn here. So what is money multiplier? It is a ratio. Here it is a ratio that relates the changes it is ratio that relates the changes in the money supply, changes in the money supply. Clear? I repeat, it is a ratio that relates the changes in money supply to a given change in monetary base, to a given change in monetary base. Sir, in simple words, money supply will change depending upon what? The monetary base. Simple. Clear? I repeat, money supply will change whenever the monetary base will change. But sir, what is monetary base? What is monetary base? Sir, monetary base is nothing but, I repeat, monetary base is nothing but total amount of banknotes and coins. Simple. Total amount of banknotes and coins. Total amount of banknotes and coins. So can I say in simple words, it is the total money printed by RBI? Can I say it is the total money printed by RBI? Tell me. Who told NBFCs are not eligible for public deposits? They are eligible. They are eligible. If it is not eligible, this is not public deposits off. Why are they not eligible? NBFCs? Yes, they are eligible. If it is not eligible, why will government ask us to include? Simple. Why will government ask us to include? Let us say NBFC. Tell me some example of NBFC. Tell me an example of NBFC. Mannapuram is an example of NBFC. Chit funds. Can't they keep public deposits? Can't you deposit your money with chit funds? Nidhi companies. Yes. Unless and until they accept your money, will they, like chit money, can you pay or not? Do you pay chit money or not? Chit funds. Do you pay chit money or not? Yes, you pay chit money, right? If you don't pay chit money, how will they accept? That is only public deposit, right? You are depositing your chit money with chit funds. Now, so total amount of banknotes and coins. So can I say this is the total amount of money printed by RBI? Now tell, if total money printed, if monetary base increases, tell me, if monetary base increases means the total money printed by RBI increases, will it have an increase in money supply or not? Sir, the money printed increases, money supply increases. Sir, money printed decreases, that is monetary base decreases. Sir, money supply also decreases. Understood what is money multiplier? Sir, money multiplier, see, money multiplier depends upon three factors. Money multiplier depends upon three factors, right? Money multiplier depends upon three factors. That is behavior of central bank, second is behavior of commercial banks, and third one is behavior of public. Correct or not? So these three things will determine the monetary base of a country. Means whether the money supply should be increased or decreased, notes should be printed more or less. These three people will only decide this. No. Now tell, what will central bank do? Let us now start with behavior of central bank. Behavior of central bank. Now tell me, who controls the money supply and monetary base? Who controls the monetary base and money supply? Obviously central bank only. Central Bank of India is what? Who? RBI, correct. So can I say money, clear? Can I say monetary base? Can I say monetary base and money supply is controlled by whom? Is controlled by central bank, correct or not? Is controlled by central bank. Clear? It is controlled by which bank? Central bank. Total, can I say one more thing? Total supply of money is directly related to what? To monetary base. Did I explain or not? Sir, monetary base increases, that is money printed increases, money supply increases. Monetary base or money printed decreases, what will happen? Money supply will also decrease. Then we have behavior of commercial bank. Behavior of commercial banks. Behavior of commercial banks. Point number one. Now tell, behavior of commercial bank depends upon reserve ratio. If the reserve ratio increases, now tell, reserve ratio means CRR, SLR, right? If CRR, SLR increases, now tell, bank will give more loans or less loans? Less loans, right? So loans what will happen? Will decrease. Loans will decrease. And when loans you are not giving, now let us say I give a loan to you. When I give a loan to you, what will happen? Loan will be credited to your bank account or not? When, tell me, when, see, I am depositing the money in bank account. So when loans are only not given, deposits will increase or decrease? Deposits also decrease, right? When there is no loan, I don't have money, what will I deposit in bank? And money supply, what will happen? Money supply will also decrease. So in simple words, can I say like this? Behavior of commercial bank depends upon what? Reserve ratio. If the reserve ratio increases, loans, deposits and money supply decreases. Correct or not? Behavior of commercial banks, behavior of commercial banks depend upon reserve ratio. Reserve ratio. Clear? Reserve ratio. If reserve ratio increases, clear, loans contract. Contract means reduce. Deposits and money supply decreases. Correct or not? Decreases. Now tell. If if reserve ratio decreases, what will happen? If reserve ratio decreases, what will happen? Expansion of loans. Expansion of loans. Correct or not? Expansion of loans means when reserve ratio decreases, they will have lot of money to give us loans. So expansion of loans, hence increase in deposits and money supply. Correct or not? And money supply. Clear? And money supply. Now remember one thing, excess reserves of banks will not affect money supply. Will not affect money supply. Money supply. Now let us say for example, bank is asking you to maintain 100 crores as reserves. Clear? Bank is asking you to maintain 100 crores as reserves. But sir, you yourself are maintaining 120 crores. Now tell, are you maintaining more than the reserves or less than the required reserves? On your own, bank says, RBI says minimum 100 crores you have to maintain. But how much you are maintaining? 120 crores. Now tell, how much you are maintaining more? 120 crores. Okay. This extra 20 crores, will it affect money supply? Yes. Because more amount of money wantedly you are keeping aside. Now assume that you kept 120 and informed RBI. RBI is very happy with you that wantedly you are keeping more. RBI will give you 100 crores extra to keep with you. That additional amount of money what RBI is giving to you is called what? Excess reserves. I repeat, RBI is happy with your bank. RBI is giving 100 crores, but it is telling don't use. Till I say don't use the money. Conditions are there. When RBI is giving money as reserves to bank, which it cannot use just for time pass. Now let us say for example you buy a Ferrari. Can you use a Ferrari in Indian roads? No, right? You cannot use. So what is that use of buying that? Only show purpose, right? You can just keep and tell Abba, I have Ferrari Volke. In the same way, bank is giving 100 crores extra. Bank will be happy immediately, but by seeing banks happy, RBI will tell, don't be happy. You cannot use this 100 crores. Keep this money as excess reserves. When I say, then only use. Now tell, is it having any control over that extra 100 crores what bank RBI is giving? No, right? So is it affecting my supply? No. It will neither decrease or increase it, but it's just time pass money. For time pass, I'm keeping with me. Nothing much. Clear? So next, behavior of public. Behavior of public. Behavior of public. Right? Behavior of public. Behavior of public. Clear? Behavior of public. Now, behavior of public I've already explained. I will not explain in detail. Sir, behavior of public matlab when public wants to hold money. When public wants to hold money. This directly you read from where? Read from material. Clear? Read from material. Read from material. Directly read from material. So many times I've explained you. I have written, or you can read from earlier notes. Earlier notes. Now tell, when demand for money from public increases, what will happen? This complete demand for money is there, right? Demand for money. That complete chapter is nothing but behavior of public. That complete demand for money chapter, what we have studied, is nothing but behavior of public. So read from material means my notes, not from the material what I've given. Read from my notes. Which notes? Demand for money. Immediately before this chapter we have done, right? That complete chapter is nothing but the behavior of public. Simple question I'll ask. Demand for money increases, what will happen? Money supply, what happened? Demand for money increases. Money supply increases or decreases? Money supply decreases. So demand for money decreases. Money supply increases. Correct or not? So many examples we have seen. Some 2-3 examples you can write here. Next. Then we have clear. Then next two small concepts are there. Once we are done with this, we'll start with problems. Clear? Miscellaneous concepts. Clear? Miscellaneous concepts. Sir, miscellaneous concepts may we have first one. Effect of, here effect of government expenditure, effect of government expenditure on money supply. Clear? Effect of government expenditure on money supply. Clear? Effect of government expenditure on money supply. Sir, what is government expenditure? First of all, what is government expenditure? Simple question. What is government expenditure? First, are you spending the money or government spending the money? Simple question. Let us say when public, tell me, public is not ready to spend money. Public is not ready to spend money on anything. Public wants to save. Money supply will increase or decrease? Whenever public doesn't want to spend money supply will increase or decrease? Sir, money supply will decrease. At that point of time, who has to spend money? Who has to spend money to increase the money supply? Government only, right? Not RBI. Why will RBI spend money? Government will spend money. And now tell me, when now let us say 100 rupees government wants to spend, but it has only 70 rupees, then from where will it take money? From it will take money from RBI, right? It will take money from RBI and spend. At the end of the day, when government is spending money or whether you are spending money, money supply will increase or not. So whenever government falls short of minimum requirement of money, clear? Minimum requirement of money. Whenever governments fall short of what? Minimum requirement of money, they are eligible to take clear? They are eligible to take overdraft facility called as what? Ways and means facility. Which facility? Ways and means facility. Clear? Ways and means facility. Which generates money supply. Which generates what? Money supply. Now let us say, for example, government has expenses, right? Government has to pay salary, correct or not? Government has to pay salary or not? This is government, clear? And this is RBI, and this is bank, clear? Government is there, RBI is there, bank is there. Now this is government, this is RBI, and this is bank, clear? Now Whenever government wants 10 lakh rupees, government wants 30 lakh rupees, but it is having only 20 lakh rupees to pay salary. Now tell, is it falling short of its money requirements or not? Is it falling short of its money requirements or not? Yes. How much? 10 lakhs. From where will it get 10 lakhs? Government will go to RBI and say, give me an overdraft of 10 lakhs. Give me an overdraft of 10 lakhs. Now what will RBI do? RBI will call bank and say, now tell me, should bank give SLR to CRR to RBI or not? Should bank give CRR to RBI or not? Now let us say bank has to give 100 crores. Let us say bank has to give 50 lakhs CRR. I repeat, bank has to give 50 lakhs CRR to RBI. Now RBI will call bank and tell, Arey, you this month you have to give me 50 lakhs CRR, right? Bank will tell, yes sir, we have to give. Now RBI will tell, give me only 40 lakhs. Give me how much? Only 40 lakhs. Give me only how much? 40 lakhs. Don't give me 50 lakhs. Automatically bank will be very happy. Bank manager will start dancing. 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs, same will get. Now RBI will tell, don't be happy. Don't be happy. I will give you the account number of employees. Pay salary. Salary to government employees. How much? 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs. At the end of the day, clear? At the end of the day, total how much see here, how much I have to give it to RBI? 50 lakhs. Out of that, 40 lakhs I'm giving to RBI, 10 lakhs I'm spending on government employees. At the end of the day, 50 lakhs only I've spent according to RBI, correct or not? RBI account, RBI will think how much I've spent? 50 lakhs only. I am spending money on behalf of RBI. At the end of the day, that is, I am giving 50 lakhs only to RBI. Understand the logic here? When government wants money, government will say, I want 10 lakhs. RBI will go to bank and tell, you have to give me 50 lakhs, right? Give me 40 lakhs only. But still, even though I'm giving to RBI 40 lakhs only, but how much RBI will record? How much RBI will record? Even though I'm giving 40 lakhs only to RBI will still record how much? 50 lakhs. Why? Because 10 lakhs I'm spending on behalf of RBI or not? 10 lakhs I'm spending on behalf of RBI or not? Yes. This facility is called what? Overdraft facility or ways and means facility. Clear? Now, let us go to material. Now, where is the material we have? Here. So, let us go to money supply chapter. See here. Money supply may, let us see what all we have completed. I explained you what is money supply, right? I've already explained you what is money supply. Clear? I've explained you introduction to money supply and why to calculate money supply, sources of money supply, that is bank and RBI. I told measurement of money supply. I explained in that. I explained M1, M2, M3, M4. I've also explained new monetary reserves plus reserve money. I've also explained liquidity aggregates. I've also explained determinants of money supply, concept of money multiplier. I've explained money multiplier applies to supply of money, that is behavior of bank, behavior of commercial banks, RBI, and behavior of public. I've explained. Then I've also explained effect of government. What is that? Expenditure on money supply. Clear? Next, credit multiplier. Sir, what is credit multiplier? What exactly do we mean by credit multiplier? It's a very small topic and very easy topic. 1 mark topic this is. Sir, how one credit multiplier means how much credit multiplier means how much, clear, how much new money will be created, new money will be created, clear, how much new money will be created, clear, how much new money will be created by the banking system, by the banking system, clear, by the banking system for a given increase, for a given increase in high powered money. High powered money. High powered money. Sir, high powered money means fiat money or money printed by RBI. Let us take a simple example. Clear? Let us take a simple example. How money increases? Let us see. A is there. Clear? This is A. A goes to bank, right? A goes to, let us say A goes to SDFC Bank. Clear? A goes to SDFC Bank and deposits rupees 1000. Same example I have given in notes also. Clear? A goes to SDFC banks and deposits 1000 rupees. Now tell, how much money is there with SDFC Bank now? How much money is there with bank now? High powered money, how much it is there? 1000. You think complete 1000 SDFC can spend, or it has to keep some reserves? Let us assume 10% is the reserves. Let us assume 10% is reserves. Clear? Assume 10% is reserves. Means it should keep 10% aside, right? It should keep 10% aside. Out by keeping 10% aside, how much it can spend? How much it can spend? 900. So what happens? Sir, SDFC Bank gives a loan of, clear, gives a loan of rupees 900 to whom? To B. To whom? B. To whom? B. Now tell, how much money B is having? Technically 100 rupees, technically 1000 rupees is only there. But bank has created how much? 1900, right? 1000 rupees which it has received, 900 rupees it has given to B. Correct or not? 900 it has given to B. Now what will B do? B will go to ICICI Bank. B will go to ICICI Bank and deposit how much? Rupees 900. Now tell, how much money ICICI is having now? 900. So total money with banking system is how much? 1000 rupees of A and 900 of B. Total 1900. Now what will ICICI do? ICICI will keep how much percentage? How much percentage? 10%. So how much? 90 rupees. So it will give a loan of 810 to whom? C. It will give a loan of 810 to C. Correct or not? After keeping 10%, that is 90 rupees aside, it will give a loan of how much? It will give a loan of 810 to C. What will C do now? C will deposit rupees 810 in which bank? Let us say SBI. Now tell, out of 810, remove 10% and tell how much it will be. 810 minus 81, how much? 729 rupees loan will be given to whom? D. Again, what will D do? He will deposit in his bank account, or that fellow will spend. Now, what is happening here is 1000 rupees only, which was given by A to 1000 rupees only, which was given by A to SDFC Bank, is rotating in the market or not? Same 1000 rupees is rotating or not? This is called what? This is called as credit multiplier. I'm multiplying the same 1000 rupees loan, and am I earning interest on that or not? I'm earning interest on that or not? Now tell, how much SDFC has to return back to A? 1000 rupees, right? Initial deposit was how much? 1000. So this money will keep rotating till the interest income becomes 1000. Till the income becomes 1000. That point of time, what will happen? Money deposited is equal to what? Is equal to interest earned. That is why remember I told you, the money supplied by banks is called what? Fiat money or credit money? Credit money. This is called as what? Credit multiplier. Understood? Same money I'm multiplying again and again and again till the money deposited is equal to interest. You think that is practically possible? Money deposited equal to interest earned? No. It will practically not be possible. That is why this is a theoretical concept. And money credit multiplier will be 1 divided by required ratio. Required reserve ratio. Clear? 1 divided by required reserve ratio. Clear? 1 divided by required reserve ratio is called what? Is called as credit multiplier. Now come back here, this also done. Same example I've given here. See, where if A deposits 1000 in cash at bank asset, this constitutes current total. Now suppose B buys the goods worth. Same example I've given here. So need not go through this much only. If you write this much in your own words, that should be enough. Or draw this here diagram, it should be more than enough. Now let us go to problems. Now problem number 4. Clear? Problem number 4. Listen very carefully. How would each following situation affect money multiplier and money supply? Commercial banks in India decide to hold more excess reserves. Tell me. I repeat, commercial bank are want to hold more reserves. When banks are having more reserves, money supply will increase or not? Tell me, when banks are having, commercial banks in India decide to hold more reserves, money supply will decrease, correct or not? When money supply decreases, sir, when money supply decreases, you think this will be possible? You think this will be possible? Multiplying the credit will be possible? When money supply is only not there, multiplying the credit will be possible? No. Then credit multiplier will also decrease, correct or not? Credit multiplier will also decrease. I am unable to multiply money, right? There is no money supply, I cannot multiply my money. So money supply will also decrease and money multiplier will also decrease. So can I write something like this? Solution number 4. Solution number 4. Clear? First one, what happens? Money supply and credit multiplier decreases. Clear? Enough. This much should be more than enough. Next. Fearing shortage of money in ATMs, people decide to hold money. Sir, people are holding money. When people are holding money, money supply will increase or decrease? People are holding money, decrease. When money supply decreases, credit multiplier will increase or decrease? Money multiplier will increase or decrease? Money multiplier will also decrease. So money multiplier and supply of money both have direct relationship. This is not credit multiplier, money multiplier. Sorry. Second case also, money supply and money multiplier decreases. Number 3. These are case law type questions. 4 marks. Banks open large number of ATMs all over the country. When so many ATMs are there in the country, will people fear of not having money? Now tell. Money demand will increase or decrease? So many ATMs are there. People can withdraw anytime. Are people holding cash with them? No. Money supply increases. Money supply and money multiplier increases. Correct or not? Money multiplier and money supply increases. Why? People will not hold cash with them. They will deposit money. When public is depositing money in bank, money supply increases and money multiplier will also increases. What? Banks will start rotating the money. Next, e-banking becomes very common and nearly all people use them. Sir, everyone is using internet banking. It means what? When everyone is using internet banking, it means money is there with you or with bank? Everyone is using internet banking means money is there with bank. When money is there with bank, tell me, when money is there with bank, money supply will increase or not? And when money supply increases with bank, bank will multiply that money or not? So both money supply and money multiplier increase. Correct? Next. If banks decide to keep 100% reserves, khatam. Bank is keeping 100% reserves, not even 1 rupee bank is giving. Money supply increases or decreases? 100% reserves. Money supply, no money supply, right? No money supply. So fifth mein what happens? No money supply. No money supply. Khatam. No money supply. So no, that concept of money multiplier itself will not apply. Clear? No money supply. Now what would be the effect? Okay, next. Suppose the banks need to keep no reserves. Only when bank is not keeping any reserves. Sir, when bank is not keeping any reserves, 100% money supply or not? 100% money supply. 100% money supply. And money multiplier increases. Now tell, will it increase 1 or 2% or exponentially it will increase? Exponentially it will increase or not? increases exponentially. Exponentially. Clear? I hope you understood the concept here. Next, number 3. What will be the total credit created by the commercial banking system for an initial deposit of 1000? They are asking you, if initial deposit of 1000 is there, how much will be the money created for required reserve ratio? Remember the formula? 1 divided by solution number 3. Solution number 3. Case 1. Case 1. How much is the 1 divided by how much? 0.02. 1 divided by 0.02, how much? 1 divided by 0.02, how much? 50%. Into 1000 you multiply. Into 1000. How much it will be? 1 divided by 0.02 into 1000. Required reserve ratio is 0.02, right? 50,000. So 1000 rupees, say bank is able to create 50,000, not today but in future. Correct or not? Case 2. 1 divided by 0.05. 1 divided by 0.05 into 1000. How much? 20,000. Next, case 3. 1 divided by 0.10 into 1000. How much? 10,000. Now, simple question I'll ask. Whatever we have studied in theory, let us see practically now. See, sir, when reserve ratio is 0.02, how much is the money supply and money multiplier? How much it is? 50,000. Reserve ratio is 0.03. I am able to generate 50,000. Correct or not? 50,000. 0.02 means 2%. Now tell, when reserve ratio is 10%, money supply is how much? 10,000. Now tell, sir, when reserve ratio is 2%, 50,000, 10%, 10,000. Now tell, when reserve ratio is increasing from 2% to 10%, when reserve ratio is increasing from 2% to 10%, money supply is increasing or decreasing? Money supply is decreasing. Correct or not? Understood the concept practically here? Clear? This is how concepts you have to understand. Next, question number 2. Compute M3 from the following data. Compute M3. Currency deposit with public. Will it come in M3 or not? M3 may will it come or not? So to calculate M3, can I directly calculate M3? I need to calculate M1 and M2 also. M1 and M2 also. Let us see formula. Let us see formula. M1. Where is M1? M1, M1 here. M1. NM1 or M1? M1. Okay. M1, M1, M1. Now see. Currency. Currency with public will come where? M1, M2 or M3? Currency with public will come where? M1, M2 or M3? M1. M1. Solution number 2. Solution number 2, right? M1. Clear? M1. M1 में what will happen? Currency with public. That is coins and notes with public. How much it is? 12,637.1. 12,637.10. Now tell, demand deposits with bank. Where will it come? Demand deposits with bank. Demand deposits. CASA, current account, savings account. Where will it come? M1 only. Demand deposits with bank. Demand deposits with banks. Demand deposits with banks. How much? 14,106.30. 14,106.30. Next, time deposits with bank. Where will it come? M1, M2 or M3? M4. Where will it come? Time deposits. M2 or M3? M3. Next, other deposits with RBI. Where will it come? M1. Other deposits with RBI. Where will it come? M1. Correct? So 210.9. Other deposits with RBI. 210.90. Tell me how much is M1? M1 is how much? total. 26,954.30. 26,954.30. Now M2 is what? M2 is equals to M1. Now tell, is there anything given relating to M2? Nothing is given, right? There is no information. So M2, so what we'll do, M2 is equals to M1. Khatam. Next, M3. M3 is equals to M2. 26,954. 954.30. So since there are nothing given to us relating to M2, we will assume M1 is equal to M2. So M2 is how much? M2 is 26,954.30. To this, what will I add? Time deposits with bank. Time deposits with bank. With banks. Time deposit with banks. How much? 101,489.50. 101,489.50. 101,489.50. Now tell how much should be the M3 total? M3 should be how much? 1 lakh 28,443.80, right? Simple. So there is nothing much you need to just remember. Now, question 1, you solve it as homework. Clear? Question 1, you solve it as homework. What you have to do? All these three things you total, you will get what? Reserve money. Clear? All these three things you total, you will get reserve money. Because reserve money may M1, M2, M2, M3, L1, L2, all that headache is not there. Whatever is given, add everything, you will get what? You will get everything, nothing but reserve money. Clear? Simple that is. So please solve it as homework. With this, I think we completed money supply also. Next, we'll see which chapter to start. We'll start in next class. Clear? Bye everyone.